One and all. Oh, good morning, Chuck. What are you doing here?
Hey, I got terrific news.
Excuse me. Can't stand any more good news.
Yeah, well, keep in touch, Pete. Hey, remember Florence and Jenny, those two airline hostesses I was telling you about?
Yeah?
Well, they're both back in town, and we're all set for tonight. Daddy, we gonna fly.
You're not doing any flying. You'll have to get yourself another co-pilot. Want some coffee?
No, thanks.
From now on, I'm only dating Elena. We've got an understanding.
Well, forget it. I'm all set with Jenny, and Florence is dying to meet you. And incidentally, she was picked as the hostess with the mostest.
Now, can't you get it into that beady little brain of yours that I'm through running around?
But then I'm stuck with an extra girl.
Well, Chuck, I'm sure that you'll work it out somehow. Excuse me. Got an appointment with a new and very important client.
More important than me, your old partner in Cherching La Femme?
That's right. Happens to be president of the Granger department stores. I'll see you, boy.
What a waste. Like Man-O-War quitting when he was a 3-year-old. No, sir. I won't let it happen to him. Or to me. I owe it to him to protect him from himself. Oh, thanks. Don't mind if I do.
Now, let me get this straight, Mr. Granger. You say the complainant was shopping in your store, that he tripped over some loose carpeting, thereby severely injuring his back.
That's correct. And now he's threatening to sue us for $50,000 damages. I tell you, Greg, the man's a phony.
Any witnesses?
Sales girl didn't see it happen. However, she got the name of a young woman who did.
Oh, good.
Unfortunately, the witness wouldn't give her name. The sales girl had to get it off a sales slip.
Dolores Lane.
Yes, she works at the Purple Penguin.
The nightclub?
Yes, things. You can reach her there tonight.
I'm sorry, Mr. Granger, not tonight. You see, I have a date.
A date?
Well, not just an ordinary date. You might say I am seeing the girl, the one and only girl from now on.
You mean to say you're really thinking about getting married?
Well, stranger things have happened.
Well, now, suppose you do get married. How do you plan to support your wife?
That's an odd question. I have a very successful law practice.
And what makes it so successful?
Clients like you, Mr. Granger.
Precisely.
You're so right, sir. I'll see Miss Lane tonight.
A fine thing. The junior hop is this Saturday night, and Ricky Barrett, you know, he's on the football team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he just told me that I promised to go with him 2 weeks ago.
Well, then go with him.
How can I? I'm going steady with Hank.
I'll go with Hank.
But I can't if I promise Ricky. What am I going to do?
Donnie, it seems to me the only thing you can do is to call up Hank and tell him the truth.
Do you think he'll believe me?
Why, sure. You know, of course, I'm practically in the same situation you are. I've got a date with Elena, but I've got to go downtown and interview that nightclub singer. Now, I could tell Elena a little white lie so she wouldn't get jealous, but I'm not. I am going to tell her the truth.
Do you really think she'll understand?
Why, sure she will. Always pays to tell the truth.
Oh, that's perfectly all right, dear. You go right ahead. I'll wait for you here.
You see? I told you she'd understand. Now, darling, I'm sure that Hank will, too.
That must be Hank now. He's picking me up. Thanks for your advice, Uncle Bentley. Good night.
Night.
Good night, Miss Castillo.
Good night, dear. Now, what was that all about?
A little teenage triangle, kid stuff. Hope you don't mind my using you as an example.
Of course not, darling. But I did want to talk about the Milk Fun costume ball.
Oh, can't it wait till I get back?
Of course. Oh, I want to make this the social event of the year.
With you there, how can it miss? I shouldn't be too long. Keep the hacienda warm until I get back. Good evening.
Counselor at law, are you here on business or pleasure?
Well, I did come on business, but this is a pleasure. Won't you sit down?
Thank you. Oh, look, Buster, if this is about that accident in the department store yesterday, you can just forget about it.
Let's not be hasty about this, Miss Lane, please.
I am not going to get dragged into court for any kind of lawsuit.
Yes, but aren't you interested in justice?
Sure, but I'm more interested in my career. You see, that sort of lousy publicity could absolutely ruin me. After all, I'm a society chanteuse.
I quite understand. But, see, my client would be most appreciative if you could...
I didn't see anything, I didn't hear anything, and even if I had, I wouldn't remember. Because, you see, I have a very poor memory. Well, goodbye, Mr. Grant.
Name is Greg.
See what I mean?
Dolores, why did you give him the brush?
Who, that ambulance chaser?
Ambulance chaser? That's Bentley Gregg, big man around town. Real class, gets his name in all the columns.
So what?
Well, I'll tell you so what. If you expect me to build you up as a society chanteuse, that's the kind of a schnook you've got to get in with. You know, it wouldn't hurt to be seen around with him. Get your name in the columns, go to snooty affairs like the Milk Fund Ball and things like that. Where you going?
I'm going to get myself a lawyer. Oh, you're not leaving so soon, are you, honey?
Good evening, Miss Castillo. I'm Chuck Forrest, an old friend of Bentley's.
Well, how do you do?
You know, it beats me what Loverboy's doing down at the Purple Penguin with a looker like you here.
Well, he happens to have a business appointment.
Sure he does.
I don't know what you're inferring, but Bentley will be here any minute.
Well, I hope so, for your sake, but,
But what?
Well, I've seen Dolores Lane. You know, he'll probably call, tell you he's unavoidably detained. Would you mind taking a taxi home?
Well, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Excuse me. Hello?
Elena, I'm terribly sorry, but I've been unavoidably detained. Yes, I'll be a little longer than I thought. I hope you don't mind taking a taxi home. Hello? Hello?
What's wrong?
I don't know. She's hung up. Maybe I better call her back.
Do you or do you not want to hear about what I saw in that department store, Mr. Grant?
Greg. Now, you say that you actually saw him scuff up the carpet and then trip over it, huh?
Mm-hmm, that's right. It definitely looked like a fake to me.
Good. Now, you say that in court, and my client is in the clear. I tell you, I don't know how to show my appreciation.
Well, I have a few ideas. I'm off tomorrow night. I thought maybe you and I could do the town.
I'm sorry, but I have an appointment.
Well, I understood that I was a very important witness, and it certainly doesn't seem to me that you're treating me like one.
Well, you are. You see,
Bentley, could you help me with my zipper? I'm caught.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Oh, you're scared.
This thing is jammed.
Here, look. Try it this way. You get better leverage. You're going to tear my dress. Bentley! Ooh, Bentley, you're pinching me. Bentley!
Elena!
Business appointment.
We're going to be a foursome any second. Watch. That's one.
That's a pretty dirty trick to play. I thought you were friends.
We are.
Elena!
Bentley, buddy.
Oh, hello, Chuck.
What's the beef?
A slight altercation with Elena. She probably never talked to me again.
Well, forget it. Come on, I want you to meet a couple of people. Girls, I'd like to have you meet my old co-pilot, Bentley Gregg. This is Florence Morley and Jenny Johnson. Welcome back to the unattached ranks, old daddy. You know, I got a feeling you're going to thank me for this one of these days.
Thank you for what?
Well, when I needled Elena, I had no idea she'd come down here, but I just did it to protect you from yourself, old buddy.
Wait a minute now. You talked to Elena?
But of course, what's a buddy for, buddy?
Thanks, buddy. You know, it's hard to believe that my buddy Chuck would play Cupid.
Well, he called to apologize, and I came here to do the same thing. I'm afraid I'm an awfully jealous woman.
I promise I will never again help a young lady with her zipper. Present company accepted, of course.
Oh, I would have hated to miss tomorrow night.
What's tomorrow night?
Oh, then we're going to the Milk Fund Costume Ball, remember?
That's tomorrow? Ooh, I've got to figure out some kind of a costume to wear.
Well, if it'll help any, I'm going as Salome. Will you see me in my 7 veils?
You have to be so bundled up?
I have an idea.
What?
Why don't you go as Julius Caesar?
No, how would we look together? 7 veils and a sheet?
Goodbye, dear. Oh, Bentley. I hope you don't mind my dropping by, but I was in the neighborhood and I wanted to talk to you.
You two have sort of met before, Miss Lane, Miss Castillo.
It's so nice of you to be a witness for Mr. Gregg. But it's very hard to say no to Bentley.
That's a lovely dress you're wearing.
Thank you. And I noticed the zipper is working, too. Yes, isn't that a shame? No, it's not nearly as much fun.
Don't you think that we'd better do what we
You know,
have?
I understand that you're billed as a society chanteuse. Just what society do you sing for?
Miss Lane, we have quite a bit of ground to cover. Elena, really, I've got a lot of work to do on Miss Lane's zipper. I mean, on testimony. All right, then. See you. Bye.
She's such a lovely girl. What back fence did you find her on?
Won't you sit down? Now, Miss Lane, I would like to go over your testimony thoroughly and prepare a deposition.
Oh, sure, sweetie. But listen, I want to ask a favor of you first.
Yes?
Well, you see, I'm doing something for you, and so it seemed only right that you do something for me.
That makes sense. What?
Well, my manager thinks that I'm not doing enough to promote myself as a society chanteuse. And so I thought it'd be great publicity if I were seen around town with you. You know, and go to some of these society things and all that.
Oh, like what?
Well, like the Milk Fund costume ball.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm taking Miss Castillo to that.
Well, I think you better change your plans, or you just might find yourself without your star witness. I seem to feel my memory slipping away, Mr. Grant.
Now, wait. Hello? Oh, yes, Mr. Granger. Yes, everything's going on just fine.
Bentley, I'm going as Cleopatra. How are you going?
You're absolutely right, dear. I'd better tell Miss Castillo the truth. I've got to take Miss Lane or I'm going to lose that case.
Sure. Same advice you give niece Kelly. Only way out of jam, tell truth.
Hello, Elena, dear. Bentley. Oh, I'm fine. Elena, there's something I've got to discuss with you. No, I haven't picked out my costume yet. I'm too tall to go as Napoleon. Hercules? Oh, I'm too short to go as Hercules. I can tell that you're excited. Look, Elena, Abraham Lincoln? But Elena... Yes, I'm sure we're going to have a wonderful time. I'm looking forward to it too, dear. Bye.
Maybe you better go as Henry Hudson. You shoe up creek.
All right, darling. Hey, what's the matter?
I took your advice. I did what you told me.
Yes, and what happened?
I told Ricky the truth about Hank, and I told Hank the truth about Ricky. And they both got mad at me, and now I don't have any date for the junior hop.
That's great. I end up with 2 dates, she winds up with none.
Don't worry about niece Kelly. Kids always work things out. But you and Big Jam, you got double trouble. Shame you're not born twins.
Shame I'm not born what?
Twins. 2 people.
Hey, that's it.
That what?
That's the solution. Yes. Maybe I can be twin. Perfect. Great. Not even Queen Isabella could tell us apart.
Incidentally, what did this guy Balboa ever do to get a town named after him?
Nothing, just discovered the Pacific Ocean, that's all.
Big deal. How could he miss it?
Sorry, Cousin Charlie. Don't want to go to movie. We're going to have a better show here. Mr. Gregg got a very clever plot worked out. Got himself out of jam. He dressed up as Balboa. Balboa, Spanish explorer.
I don't know. We look like a couple of cans of tomatoes. I feel like I can use a grease and lube job.
You're gonna take lady to ball. And when she go in the powder room, he gonna disappear. And other bellboy gonna take over. Then he go pick up other date at 9, and then they switch back and forth. What's the matter, Cousin Charlie? You slow on the uptick tonight.
Don't worry about it. They'll never be able to tell us apart.
That must be Elena. Duck out the back door.
Who, me? Balboa, the famous explorer, leave by the back door? What would the Queen say?
Go on.
Sure!
Come in, my lady.
Bentley, you look marvelous.
Name is Vasco Nunez de Balboa. Will you see my beard? And I will thank you to stop staring at my knobby knees.
Now you know how we ladies feel. How do you think I look?
Magnifico.
Miss Castillo just get here. She dressed up as Salami. Salami. That famous woman covered with veils. Boy, you sure slow on the uptake tonight, Cousin Charlie.
Oh, Bentley, we are going to have the most exciting evening.
Yes, I just hope it's not too exciting. Oh, excuse me.
Uh-oh. Stick around, Cousin Charlie. Plot thicken. Cleopatra just arrived.
Who's that?
Just my tailor. He came to get my tuxedo. But you see, I don't need my tuxedo. I'm wearing my formal breastplate. Why don't we go out here, out in the patio? It's lovely this time of night, and who knows, we may find a goblet of gimlets. Here, why don't you read this? I'll be right with you.
Gotta hang up now, Cousin Charlie. Yes, Mr. Gray.
Go out there and fix something for Miss Castillo to drink and keep her occupied.
Believe it or not, garden look much better with curtains drawn. Eliminate glare from living room and bring outside inside. Care for cocktail, Miss Castillo?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Well,
People sleeping upstairs. I'm sorry I kept you out there, but I had to scrape a little rust off my armor. What are you doing here anyway? I was supposed to pick up at your place.
well, I got ready early. And besides, I wanted to make sure that I was the one you were taking to that ball, Bentley, baby.
Now look, now that you've reassured yourself...
Say, don't you look snazzy. How do you like me as Cleopatra?
Swell. Beautiful out. Why don't you go back to your place and I'll pick you up at about 9.
Well, I'd like a drink.
We don't have enough time.
I'd like a drink.
Yes, but... Yeah, why don't you sit right down here?
On the step?
Nothing like a cocktail on the carpet. Be right back. Well, everybody comfy here?
Everything's fine. What'd you say, dear?
Nothing. Elena, dear, why don't you drive my car down to the wall, and I'll get a cab, and I'll meet you there later.
Bentley, what are you talking about?
I think I'd better go and see. No, not you. There have been prowlers in the neighborhood lately.
Sorry, Mr. Great. I get more clumsy every day.
Well, Bentley, I think I came unsnapped.
Well, look, why don't you take it home and fix it, and then I'll come...
Home with old nimble fingers himself. Here, you can fix it.
I'm not very good. Hello, Elena. It wasn't a prowler after all.
What is she doing here?
What are you doing here? He's taking me to the ball.
So you were going to double-cross me after all.
Now, look, I can explain everything.
Oh, no. You'll never be able to explain your way out of this.
Or at least I can try. Hello? Oh, yes, Mr. Granger.
Oh, Bentley, you'll never change.
And don't expect any favors from me in the future. And as for you society chanteuse, smile when you call me a society chanteuse.
Don't wave that snake at me, lady. I'll belt you.
Greg, what's all that noise?
This is a very important phone call. Now, keep it quiet, please. Yes, Mr. Granger?
Why don't you turn your TV set down?
Well, it's not my TV set, sir.
I know all about you society girls. You run around with your big charity
Can't you
right
argue
there.
more
and
quietly?
You think you're so smart. Don't you shush me, you phony.
Oh, of all the tricks, at least you might have had the decency to explain.
And you told me that you broke your date with her.
He told you that?
Yes, I did. No. Yes?
I've just come from an emergency board meeting here at the store, and we've decided to settle that damage case out of court.
You did?
He'll never see me again.
Well, it's wonderful.
What?
Hold Yes, Mr. Granger, you made a wise decision.
I'll never trust another lawyer against me.
Yes, we're going to pay him off and avoid any unpleasant publicity.
I certainly agree, Mr. Granger.
I guess it's always best to settle these things peaceably.
Yes, indeed, sir. You're so right, Mr. Granger. There's nothing like a peaceful solution.
Coming up, it's the Doris Day Show.
And tonight at 11 Eastern, a murdered dentist at a chocolate makers convention on Remington Steel, only here on CBN.